Unfortunately, Democrats are only focused on one thing right now, Mr. Musk. The fact of the matter, he's quite popular. He has the largest platform in human history, which is, of course, Twitter/X. And I think we're missing the boat as Democrats. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to join them and actually play a role in how the strategy works rather than so pathetically, frankly, try to combat something that clearly is a steamroller, and Democrats are being steamrolled. Unfortunately,
man, we could say that about Donald Trump getting in that office, right? The same thing. These people are just light years behind of where the world is moving. That's why we have to remind them on a regular basis that this isn't the Biden presidency, okay? Trump is in that office. But yes, man, Democrats are in full-blown panic mode right now over USAID being thoroughly audited and looked into for where our tax dollars are being spent. I mean, we just giving them away to frivolous organizations, you know what I mean, and all these NGOs. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get an update on the Doge report.
In case you missed it, here's the Doge report for today. So where is our money actually being spent? Well, they found that $3 million is being used to study steroid-enhanced hamster fighting.
What?
I think you could just go to like a bar at night,
what?
Watch a couple dudes get into it, and know what steroids will do for a fight. Okay?
What? What did she? Oh, I didn't hear that, right?
In case you missed it, here's the Doge report for today. So where is our money actually being spent? Well, they found that $3 million is being used to study steroid-enhanced hamster fighting. I think you could just go to like a bar at night, watch a couple dudes get into it, and know what steroids will do for a fight. Okay? $2.3 million has been used for studying cocaine effects on beagles.
What?
Why don't you just spend about $1,500, get yourself a Coachella ticket, get a lawn chair, sit back and watch. You'll understand what cocaine does to anyone. Coachella. Just go there. $600,000 in parrot romance.
Oh
That's
my
important.
God. This is
definitely really important,
ridiculous.
actually. We'll keep that. $500,000 in racial aggression in mice.
Racial
I'm sorry,
aggression,
do
mice?
give a shit. They just want your food. They don't care if you're black, you're white, you're Asian. They don't care. They just probably want to get your food and your crumbs and in your house and on the streets and gross. Okay. 1.1 million training mice to binge drink. Just go to UGA, pick a sorority house, pick a fraternity house, watch them on the weekends. They'll binge drink, study the effects after that. Free. Just again, lawn chair. See, I think we should just promote buying a couple of lawn chairs and go to a couple of these events. You'll get all the studies you need and willing participants. 2.1 million encouraging Ethiopians to wear shoes. That's effective for Americans, thank God. That's where our money is going. We know we can't buy groceries, but let's make sure those Ethiopians wear their shoes. I can't even get my kid to put their shoes on. Okay, can we maybe put a little money in that? Or sometimes I'm like, where's the other shoe? Why do you only have one? What happened to the second one? Okay. 187.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on hamsters. I'm keeping it real. My mind is still over here like steroids for hamster fighting.
What happened to the second one? Okay. 187,000 verifying that kids love their pets. Unless you're raising Jeffrey Dahmer, your kids like their pets. It's just natural. Most people like pets more than like humans. I know. I do.
Amen to that.
2.7 million studying Russian cats on treadmills. Why don't we take 2.7 million and try to encourage more Americans to use treadmills?
Amen to that.
Okay. Finally, 875,000 studying cocaine effects on quail mating. Again, lawn chair, sorority fraternity house, a good party. Watch what happens when cocaine enters the room. So in case you missed it, that is where your hard-earned dollars are going this week in the Doge report.
Wow. Now, this was posted by Elon Musk, previously known as Harry Bowles. But I see he went ahead and updated his profile name today back to Elon Musk. He even had CNN meltdown about that. What hamsters fighting, bro? Like, I heard everything else, but that's the one thing that I was just like, That money could be used to help so many Americans, man, especially the ones who fought for our basic freedoms, man. The Wall Street Apes posted, the fraud against U.S. taxpayers is almost too much to comprehend. Chicago Ray says, why did we let this go on for so long? We have a bunch of criminals in Congress. George posted, SNL should take notes. Oh, man, right. Like, exactly. Now, yeah, I only got 24 seconds of the view on your screen a day, so you ain't got to worry about being tortured too hard. But just to poke fun at you a little bit, I'm going to do something. Joe Barr accidentally makes Elon Musk look good while absurdly fact-checking his claim about USAID sending $50 million for condoms in Gaza. Yeah, people. So, like I said, it's short and brief, but I'm gonna make it big on your screen.
For 2 weeks, we heard this idea that they spent $50 million on condoms in Gaza. Right. It's not even Gaza in the Middle East. It's Gaza in Mozambique. They didn't even know that.
And the number was wrong, too.
And then he goes on, Elon Musk goes on and said, well, I made a mistake. Meanwhile, you perpetuated the lie for the past 2 weeks, just like they did about these Haitians eating cats and dogs. Lies, and more lies, and then it goes out there. For 2 weeks.
Wow. So they saying that him finding out that our taxpayer money is actually going to these causes is somehow him lying, like he's spreading misinformation. You do realize you're not the source, right, Joy? Like, you're not the source. It's like he's in that position to discover all these things and reveal these things. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said, wait, so is there a Gaza and she just said it. I don't know how you say this word, and I know y'all finna be in the comment section like, young man, you need to learn how to read. I can't even watch your channel. It's getting so unbearable the way you say anywho and anywhom and yada yada yada. I just get so tired of it. Like, bro, can y'all stop with y'all liberal complaints? Like, you acting like a Democrat, bro. Like, either you like it, you don't like it, you move on. Like, all the other stuff in between, like, we could take criticism here, but anyhow, that all stemmed from me talking about not being able to say Mozambique. Yeah. But anyhow, yeah, what did Gaza and Mozambique? So it actually was two Gaza, just a different Gaza. Yep. It was. American Papa Bear posted, they are forgetting 10% for the big guy. The big guy being Joe Biden. Anyhow, right now we have USAID been exposed because they paid $3 million to a rapper in Gaza to produce an anti-Semitic song. You can't make this up, man.
And North Africa subcommittee.
The multimedia marketplace.
So, Governor, that's what we'd call you in the South if you were thinking about running for governor. Governor, I want to get to your hearing today with Fed Chairman Powell. Let's start first, though, with you, with USA.
What is that? Who's that in the back narrating like that?
AID, we were just talking about it. I support PEPFAR. I support these programs because they save so many lives. But I also support it strategically as an old Cold War conservative. I understand that.
Wait, y'all hear that too, right? I'm not over here like on my way to heaven right now, am I?
That boots on the ground are important, but also humanitarian aid is important. It's also important what intel we pick up, whether it's from the Ivory Coast or Sudan or other parts of Africa and other continents. I'm curious what your thought is on how USAID should be approached.
Well, Joe, we're actually going to have a hearing tomorrow on USAID in the foreign.
Oh my gosh! Let me apologize to my viewers right now in advance because this dude coming to media marketplace, it's getting on my nerves. So we're gonna try to push through it.
We're actually going to have a hearing tomorrow on USAID in the Foreign Affairs Committee, and a lot of these issues will be discussed. When you look at a program like PEPFAR, I have been very strong in my support for it. 60% of PEPFAR's program is administered by USAID. Secretary Rubio did grant a waiver for life-saving programs like PEPFAR, which obviously is critical on the continent of Africa, saving tens of millions of lives over the last 2 decades. Probably one of the best soft power accomplishments of the United States.
You know, I can't take this dude coming some greetings. I can't take it no more. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me absolutely insane, bro. Do they think people gonna watch the video with that just coming in between? Like, I couldn't even understand what he was saying. He was doing worse than me. I'm the guy who interrupts. He interrupted more than, bruh. Anyhow, y'all get the point though. The point is, our money is being spent on stuff like this. Okay, greetings. Greetings. Anyhow, a pro-USA protester just had an outburst in the middle of the USA betrayal congressional hearing. How do these people manage to get in the front row seats? I'm willing to bet that it comes by way of assistance from the Democratic Party, according to JV the Great.
I now recognize Mr. Primorak for your opening statement.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to testify before this committee. My name is Max Primorak. I am a senior research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. I previously served at the U.S. Agency for International...
PEPFAR saves lives! Restore AIDS now! PEPFAR saves lives! Restore AIDS funding 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 now!
I guess these guys don't watch the news. They didn't realize that PEPFAR was one of the many programs that did prove to be life-saving, so the funding was restored. Somebody better give them a link to, I don't know, maybe Fox News or something like that. You may resume your opening statement.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. I like what somebody posted up under there. Agree. Will they get 5 years in jail like J6ers? And program. It said the end program they protested was restored. And the program that they protested was restored. OMG. You protesting and don't even know the update on your cause, bro. That's crazy. These morons didn't even know their funding was exempt from cuts. These people, man, you can't make this type of stuff up. So this patriot right here is upset with Elizabeth Warren, said ordinary Americans do not have the right to know what they are spending our tax dollars on.
This message is for dear Elizabeth Warren. Young lady, you sat there and you said in front of the world that us ordinary Americans do not have the right to know what you're spending our hard-earned taxes on. I just want to take a moment to tell you, Miss Elizabeth Warren, that you do not deserve to be in the position that you're in. And the reason why is because it has gone literally to your head. Not only have you lied about being an Indian and all these other things, but the simple fact that you call us ordinary or you call us average in any simple shape or form tells me that you do not understand the position that you've been elected into. And let me explain something. You see, the position that you've been elected to, because you need to understand this, you don't. The position that you have been elected into is a position of that of a servant.
Yep.
Meaning
You
your
work
job
for the people.
is to serve the people. The moment that the servant becomes higher than the master, we have a huge issue. Because you feel it's okay to do whatever you want with our money, and now you're getting upset because we're finding out exactly what you're doing with our money. And the sad part is instead of coming out and saying, you know what, I am so sorry that we got caught, You guys are just sitting there and waving your hands about like narcissists. And that, my friend, that is the most upsetting thing about the average congressman or woman that is elected, is that you guys don't represent America. You represent yourself and lining your pockets. And that, my friend, should be against the Constitution when you no longer fulfill your purpose to duty at which you've been elected for.
Amen to that.
I don't know, Elizabeth Warren. You got some self-reflecting to do there, young lady. Have a great day.
Elizabeth Warren and all these other Democrats are terrified right now, and rightfully so. I mean, they've been a part of all this money laundering and all this corruption involving USAID for so long, being taken away the way that it is, meaning they will have to, all of their corruption will be exposed. Yeah, she should be terrified right now. You finna get got, okay, Elizabeth Warren? You finna get got. Now, yesterday, Nick Sorter asked her, well, this was actually a few days ago, I'm sorry, where he asked Elizabeth Warren how she achieved a $12 million net worth on a $200,000. Yep, $200K salary, promoting a reply from Elon inquiring as well. I'm sorry, prompting. I said promoting. Wow, horrible reading right there. Prompting a reply from Elon inquiry as well.
Senator Warren, I just want to answer a question. How did you get a $12 million net worth on a $200,000 salary in Congress?
Thank you.
How did you do that?
Excuse me.
How did you do that? You can keep trying to block my camera. We're on a public sidewalk, so.
Here's Elon.
Senator Warren, I just want to answer.
And also, could you mention some of the things that your team has found, some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about $30 million,
right,
etc.?
Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened at USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But just they seem to be mysteriously they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where do they come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense. That's the honest truth of it. So, we're looking at,
Oh, wow. Yes, they are definitely getting wealthy off of our tax dollars. How the heck do you go from 200,000 to 12 million? Like, what? Like, what bingo game did she win? What?
Question.
It's not funny. I mean, I know I'm over here chuckling, but it's not funny. This is at the expense of us. Paul added, Elizabeth Warren has received substantial donations from Big Pharma over the years. She needs to be investigated to see what kind of gifts she's receiving from Big Pharma. If Warren is clean, then she should have no issue earning her bank records and all tax returns. Yeah, she should turn them over. Nick sort of replied to that with Pocahontas is losing a lot of sleep over this announcement. I guarantee you that. I'm sure. Here's her right here in July of 2024 and also this month. The courts are either undermining or saving democracy. It all depends on if Elizabeth Warren agrees with their rulings.
We have a Supreme Court that has basically jumped the guardrails and is out there giving power to the president, saying that the president can commit any act that the president wants, saying that Congress cannot authorize agencies to act. So we've got a Supreme Court that is actively undermining our democracy. My view right now is the courts are where we are hanging on to our constitutional structure. They still have the power to hold everybody else in this country in contempt if they do not follow lawfully issued court orders.
Mm-hmm. Also added strangely, Warren isn't currently calling for the creation of a code of ethics to remove judges like she was last year. She's terrified, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she's terrified. Now, these Democrats are going so far as to say that Trump is a Russia agent working for the Kremlin. John Bolton used to be in charge of policy and budget at USAID. Enough said.
Well, I don't have any expectations anymore. I think we know exactly what's going to happen. President Trump has effectively surrendered to Putin before the negotiations have even begun. The positions that Defense Secretary Hegseth announced in Brussels, which I'm sure I'd be stunned if Trump didn't convey them directly to Putin in their phone call, constitute terms of a settlement that could have been written in the Kremlin. Maybe they were written in the Kremlin and got out in propaganda channels. But it's a complete reversal of the U.S. and NATO position on a number of issues. For example, up until today, the official American position was that Ukraine should be returned to full sovereignty and territorial integrity. That's gone. The question of NATO membership as far back as 2008 had been that ultimately Ukraine would become a NATO member. That doesn't look like that's around anymore either. Putin has scored a whole series of victories today. It's hard to encompass them all, but I think one, in addition to these substantive concessions, is that he has now, it seems, exactly what he wants. Putin doesn't want to negotiate with Zelensky. He wants to negotiate with Trump because he thinks he'll get more out of him. And he's absolutely right.
On your point that you just made about not having Ukraine be in NATO, borders returning to what they were pre-2014, which Hegseth said was off the table. If a Trump official was here tonight and they argued, well, that's just being realistic, what would you say to that?
I'd say that if you're going into a negotiation, you don't announce what's acceptable to you before it begins and give away positions. I tell you, I've done a lot of negotiation with the Russians, and there's no country out there that's better at pocketing concessions that you make and then wanting more. We used to joke in Soviet arms control days about a famous Russian negotiator who used to greet the Americans every morning with a jovial, well, what have you got for me today? And that's what we're hearing from Russia. This is something Putin prepared the ground for. You know, last week he said he agreed with Trump that in the comments Trump had made in the election that the war never would have taken place had Trump been president. So he began.
What? I mean, like, dog, like Trump is Trump. I agree with that. If Trump was in office, that war would have never happened. Do y'all agree with that?
The flattery campaign, the release of Mark Fogel.
Let me say, I ain't gonna say it could have never happened. I'll just say that it wouldn't have gone on as long as we've seen it happen.
And the flattery campaign, the release of Mark Fogel, the American hostage, part of the flattery warm-up campaign, make Trump look like the center of attention. Belarus's decision to release an American and a couple others, part of the flattery campaign. It's obviously working.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy right here is terrified, y'all. I mean, he is scarred. Somebody said he's actually being paid to lie. I would say that. It felt like that. Even when he was talking, it didn't, usually when people are lying about something, you kind of have these triggers like, oh my God, bro, like, no, that's a lie. Whoa. As he was talking, I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. Dude, you just look like you're lying, right? Like they said at the beginning of it, he worked, he used to be in charge of the policy and budget at USAID. So, I mean, enough said. Old Tide, Russia. These people are getting born. I'm telling you, like this whole Russia, like they tactics are just getting so freaking old. These people really disgust me. Honestly. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. And catch you in the next video. I ain't got nothing else to say. I don't know why it was supposed to stop recording, but